Here we go. Okay, the y-intercept always has an x value of 0, so you just plug in 0. If we plug in 0, what do we get? -3. Okay, what are zeros? What's that mean?
Makes it 0.
What x values make it 0? So you just set the whole thing. It's kind of like the opposite of this. You make the y value or the function equal 0. And then solve it. So 2x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0. How can we solve that? Factoring, or if factoring doesn't work, quadratic formula. I think the one on the test probably does factor. I didn't look very closely, but this one does factor. Because what goes into 2x squared? 2x times x. What goes into -3? -1 and 3, or 1 and -3. If you put the 1 here, that makes 2x, and the -3 there. 2x minus 3x is -x. Okay, if you're not that good at factoring, you need to just do quadratic formula. Okay. Anyways.
This is a genuine question. So, are we gonna, on the test, are we gonna have questions like these, or do we just know how to solve these? Like, do we have to know the concepts, or are we gonna get these exact questions?
It's like every other test that we've ever done.
You ask these questions every time.
And I need
It's pretty much the close same thing. I just changed the numbers.
Okay, so we're gonna have these questions.
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It happens every time.
Just listen. Why do you have a quoted shirt?
Okay, anyways, what x values make these equal to 0? Shh. Say again? No.
Oh, wait,
3 halves, and yeah, 3 halves and -1.
It's like mine, the same thing.
Okay. Oh shoot, there's supposed to be a graph on this one. I erased it.
Are you serious right now?
Okay, here, I'm putting it back in.
Is that exactly what the people had, or are you making that up right now?
It doesn't matter.
Wow, I'm just wondering.
You trying to annoy me today?
You said you tried to annoy me today. No, I swear I'm not.
It's okay. No other
She doesn't even have to try. It's just how she is.
Just got a gift.
What? It's genuine, guys.
Why are you
That
so
was
surprised?
so fake.
She's just a little slow sometimes.
Ew, don't be rude.
W raised to that.
Okay, what is the vertex on this one?
-1 and -2.
-1, -2.
What is your secret?
What's the axis of symmetry?
Negative.
Or the, on the test it's going to say the equation for the axis of symmetry. It's x equals -1. It always matches the vertex. X equals.
So there's like 20-ish questions, like normal.
I had a chemical reaction.
Less than 20.
You're looking against me.
Like each question is basically going to be about 5 points.
Oh wow.
So,
So
yeah.
like if these kind of questions where there's only like 4, would it still be 5? And like if you just got it wrong accidentally?
Yeah, well, on average, this one might be worth 4 points, and the long division problem will be worth, the division problem is probably worth 6.
Well, like if you get it
Graphing.
wrong.
She asks 10 questions. It's completely fine, but when I...
Those are reasonable questions.
But the question is, like, if
Your
you got it
question
wrong-
was, how's this compare to the test? And my answer was, it's the same as every other time we've done it.
If I have an 85, what do you need to get a A?
Huh?
If you have an 85 in the class, what do you have to get on the test to get an A? Or can you not?
We're too far into the quarter for that to make it. Because this is test number, well, if you count the quiz, this is number 6. So one test is not going to move it up 5 points. If you got, yeah, you need like 100 on this one and then like a A on the final.
Or you the grand scheme?
It's sort of like harassment.
Wait, who's this last
I will
one?
never
This is
get
the last
harassment
test?
charge because no.
We'll probably have a quiz
Wait, how are we already
before the
at
end. I don't think we'll get through another chapter though.
Will the quiz do it like,
You think how are we at 5?
No, you're
like
not.
old friends
Sorry,
and
you're
everything?
What?
Like with the quiz, like with the grade, like if you got really
Oh
good,
my
like
goodness.
give it at least like 1 point or 2 points, like percentage. Or
Oh yeah. Well, we just took a quiz last week.
I tried so hard.
That moved some people's grade up like 2 or 3 points. Yeah.
No,
What are
it's to get away from it, bro.
What?
What are services?
I was baiting.
Oh. I'd ask Miss Plummer
What
that
is the
question.
quarter?
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks after Thanksgiving break. Yeah.
If, are we still allowed to do, what? What?
Go ahead. I said, why are we asking so many questions?
Are we still allowed to do the corrections?
Bro, smells like farts.
Yes.
How? If we fail and
I
then
guess
it's like.
so.
Big
Yeah.
entire table.
Okay. Shh. Hush, hush. Boys. Okay. On this number 5, we are in vertex form, right? So what is the vertex going to be? 3, 1.
Hey, it's Christmas color. You're smart. Thank you.
Do we skip?
Yep, opposite of this one, same as that one.
What is this game?
Did we skip it each? 2 through 4.
Oh, they were all the same.
Okay, what would the axis of symmetry be then? X equals 3, shares that. Okay, how do we find the y-intercept? Put a 0 in for x. Yes. So if we put a 0 in for x, what do we get?
1.
Negative 3 squared is 9 times 2 is 18 plus 1.
19.
Oh my goodness, it's raining.
Okay.
What
No, I have crystal lights.
Is that me?
All right, number 6 is to graph number 5.
Oh no.
Okay, you don't have to do the y-intercept, but how do we normally do it? We start with the vertex, right? Then what else do we do?
2 and 1.
Plug in a couple of close x values.
Do we not have to like make our own little graph? It's fine.
Oh yeah, let me, we'll give you some graph paper.
I already have it.
Like, kinda like, unless you're like,
I know I reputation. I did actually. It was okay. It was like great.
like the graph.
I listened to like the day after talking.
Like,
Okay, yes I did. So Ava, it's like really like soft and listening like soft and then you try to clean up all over
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do it.
Like I had it out and then I got
You like put it right there.
my ears go. And then Ava took them.
You put,
Sorry,
so I don't
I
have
couldn't
paper
hesitate.
spread out, so she put it right by, so I was cleaning up, I grabbed her paper on accident.
Okay,
I'm sorry, Lisa.
if we plug in 2 right here, we should get 3. And if we plug in 1, 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So, might notice that I made my graph go really high. I put my x-axis down at the bottom because it's going to go up to 1, 9. So 3, 1 is the vertex. 2, 3, 1, 9.
Math.
Enough You grumpy.
Oh, shit.
Because of Easton.
What?
The
No,
average boy
Issa didn't
reaction.
start it, it just didn't help.
Oh.
That hurts.
I'm sorry.
Who started?
It's okay, Issa.
She's made lots of teachers mad.
Especially Miss Conrad today.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Miss
Like, you should have seen her.
She you. I'm not bad.
Yeah.
You're not.
Some
Just hates you for no reason.
Were you asking over and over again, is this
There's
on the
no
test?
answer.
No, I don't
No,
talk
of
to
course,
her.
of course. He does that.
like Issa
Like,
at
we could tell, like, one time we asked her about the other class, and she was like, well, the girls are interesting.
Oh.
So I was
I
kind
don't
of
talk
like
to
once
her.
every
Yeah, no, she
10
didn't mind you guys.
minutes. And then
No, you should
sometimes
see it.
more.
Skylar had a sucker. It was
That's
fun.
really
And
cool.
she's
That's
like,
notes.
don't let it touch the ground. Don't let
She doesn't even know.
the
Okay. Are we good on
She
6?
doesn't care.
Yeah.
On
It's
accident.
floating away, floating away. Okay, number 7, what's different about this graph?
I hope her dog poops in her bed.
Okay, what's
Oh,
different?
greater than, less
Whoa.
than, inequality.
It's less than, which means what's gonna happen that's
There's
different.
gonna be shading.
Shading is involved. Okay, and also it's in standard form, so how do I find the vertex? Negative b over 2a. You guys remember this crystal clear from last week, right?
So.
It's
negative-
all still logged in there.
The negative b over 2a is only for those kind of like.
That's.
Only if it's in standard form. So this is standard form, the x squared x and the number, like that's how that's normally written. And this is vertex form. Those are like the two options.
Girl, I'm a sophomore. I don't know.
Okay, so negative b would be negative 4, 2a would be 2 times negative 2. So that is 1. And what do I do with that 1?
You plug it in.
Yeah, that's the x coordinate of the vertex. You plug it in, you get negative 2 plus 4 is 2 minus 1 is 1. So the vertex is 1, 1. Then what should I do after that? 0, negative 1, or I'll go positive. I'll go. You can do 0, negative 1.
It
It's
just hates
fine.
you.
You're more likely to get a negative wrong plugging it in than you are to get a positive wrong. But it doesn't matter. You can do either way. Okay, if I plug in 2, yeah, it should get a negative 1. And if I plug in 3, so 1, 1, 2, negative 1. So the first point's the vertex. Some people like, I don't know, forget which one's the vertex and try and draw it like this. Have you guys ever done that before?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, don't do that. It's up here. There a few people have done it. It's not like one person. Okay, so it's a less than. So how should I draw this? Solid or dashed? Dashed.
Oh,
Are you idiot?
is that gonna be on the test? Oh.
Issa.
Issa.
Karen thought I was gonna enjoy
Or does Whitley ever talk in your class?
Yep.
Or, really?
Yep.
I would not.
Did she not talk for you?
I hate science.
We
So
don't have any
have
class
to
with
go
her.
there. I have
So-
0 class. I do.
Okay, and we should shade where?
Above.
Below.
Below. Yeah, that's what the Christmas tree is for.
Christmas
Oh. I had a physics teacher too.
I love Christmas.
And you got it wrong. And you got it wrong.
Miss Jordan. Favorite holiday? If it's not Christmas, you're wrong.
What?
Yeah, Thanksgiving's pretty close for me.
No. What? Christmas. Christmas is the best one. Jesus, presents, and food.
Our family does a pretty good Thanksgiving, I think.
You're like more serious.
Thanksgiving is good,
You don't
but Christmas
Is
Boom.
No, it's
Christmas has the music.
There's, well,
and ambiance.
yeah, I like Christmas season.
Definitely not as a
I don't, there's not like any gifts that I
Yeah,
really
it's-
I don't care about that stuff.
I have yet to hear a single Thanksgiving song like that.
Okay, my
It's like,
birthday.
oh, turkey.
I love you so much, stuffing.
You guys should, you guys should write one.
I got one. Do it. Thank you, turkey. Get my turkey.
Yeah, I know, but like some people have made
Stuff
them
me
and
up
they're
in
just
the
like,
I can't
I
hear
know
you.
that's weird.
No, I make fun of Halloween.
Okay,
It's
okay.
so hilarious.
Is it about
making sure it's
Thanksgiving?
not-
It's
like
about
rude,
rude,
but, like,
it's about
dude,
keeping
in the
Christmas
world, what are
away
you
until after
doing?
Thanksgiving.
Bruh.
Okay, number 8.
What's that?
Number 8's up.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Oh.
number 9 is probably the one you should fear the most.
I'm scared. Yes.
Synthetic division?
It
I
froze
love
me to my
synthetic
core.
division.
I'm so
The
scared of
first-
synthetic division.
Oh.
I'm good at long division.
Okay.
Not synthetic division. It's so hard.
Well, if you use normal division, most people are better at
Is that a
synthetic.
B squared?
If you use normal division, I'll give you most of the credit.
15AB squared.
So if we use synthetic division on the long division instead.
I'll give you most of the credit.
I do what?
Like 4 out of 6 points, yeah.
So one,
Assuming you get it right.
for the number, so are they all gonna be? Yeah, okay, never mind.
Okay, 8, in my opinion, is definitely the easiest. What makes 8 easier?
It's just.
You know how to draw like the highest thing?
Okay, you're dividing by one term, so that just means like distribute property. And when you divide the letters, you didn't have a question, did you? Oh, what'd you say? I thought you said never mind.
No, I said I have 2 questions.
Oh,
My second question was, yeah. All right. So when we do long division or synthetic division,
Oh.
can we use the other? Can we do both of them and then use the other one to check it?
I just answered that
Oh,
like a minute
really?
ago. Yes, I said I'll give you most of the credit.
You are the reason. Wait, no, check it.
No, but like.
She's
Yeah.
instigating.
Like,
Oh.
I did both
Like
of
when
them.
we get full.
Yeah, you can check it.
To check.
Yeah, but if you didn't get it right in the original version, it would still only be most of the credit.
Do you have to add a thing in there?
Oh, you gotta show your work.
Do you have to add a 2?
Well, like, what if you're doing
Sorry,
a
some of them
both
are
of them check?
What?
How are you going
I
to
know.
know which one's the one that you chose to do?
It's just.
As long as you both went there and you got it right, I think it doesn't matter.
Well, normally I just erase it.
Can't even scoreboard, so that's
Do not erase your work, just leave it as always.
There is so much to work.
I give you partial, yeah, if you get it wrong and you only have the answer, I can't give you partial credit.
No, like erase the other half.
This is
if
like-
it's
this is like the
synthetic division,
anti-slap
erase the
method,
long
you know?
division, you
Okay,
use
well, I can still, don't erase the work. We'll say this, to show that you use long division, you have to show your work, okay?
And will the instructions say use long division?
Yes. Alright. Grant, what'd you get on 8?
I did not get anything.
Okay, well, do it now then. You should've been doing it.
I will. 4, 8, 5,
Shannon, what would 8 be?
I got 4ab squared plus 5b minus 3a squared.
Oh.
Okay, she was right. So she just divided all the numbers by 3, and when you divide the letters, you just subtract the exponents. And since there's no exponent on the a and b, that's like a 1. So she did like 2 minus 1, so she got 1a. 3 minus 1 on the b's, she got b squared. Anyway, that is correct. Okay, yeah, number 9 is a doozy. Well,
I think I missed it.
for one reason, because it's really long. And also, both of these actually have a trick with them. What's the issue?
We need to have a 0.
It's missing an x squared term, so you have to throw that in there. And what's this one? It's missing an a squared, right? So when you guys get down to 10, you have to throw a 0 in. This one needs a 0 as well.
Yippee.
Okay, this sucker is gigantic. So it's 4x, no wait, 4x to the 4th plus 2x cubed plus 0x squared x minus 3 divided by x minus 3. Okay, so Olivia prefers this method. Anybody else? No? Just
Yes, I do.
Shannon.
This is superior and no one gets arrows.
Okay, so we got 4x to the 4th divided by x, or you could say x times what equals that? What's 4x to the 4th divided by x? 4x cubed, just loses an x. And then you do distributive property, like you multiply this times this, write it down here, and subtract. 4x cubed times x is 4x to the 4th. 4x cubed times minus 3 is minus 12x cubed. And we're subtracting the bottom line. So the minuses become a plus. Let's get 14x cubed. This one's going to get a little crazy because I made these numbers up like last minute.
Yeah.
It gets really big.
It gets really big, which might happen on the test. I'm not sure. Probably not. But.
Yeah,
Okay, and then you start over. What's 14x cubed divided by x?
14x squared.
Yes, 14x squared times x is 14x cubed. This first term should always match. So when you subtract them, they go away. 14x squared times minus 3 is minus 42x squared. But then you subtract the bottom line, which means we're adding 42x squared to nothing. Bring down the plus x. Start over. What's 42x squared divided by x?
42x.
42x times that. 42x times minus 3. So we're subtracting the bottom line, so that becomes a plus. We got 127x. Bring down the minus 3. Start over. That was the last thing to bring down. We're almost done. 127x
127.
divided by x is 127. 127 times that business is 127x minus 381.
Yes.
But then we're subtracting, so that becomes a plus 381. So it is 378, or it's 378.
Are we gonna have any remainders on the test?
Probably. I didn't really look, but yeah, probably.
Are they gonna-
So the remainder is 378, or 378. So you just put that over the divisor. It's not that like remainders are any harder than non-remainders. Just have to write it down.
Are they gonna be big remainders? I just need to.
I don't know.
Because we have trouble with that.
Yeah. We don't have
Well, when you guys got it wrong, it's always because you didn't copy down like the negative. You know what I'm saying? Like you were just writing 4 here instead of negative 4, and that's why you guys were getting it wrong. All right, are we good on that one? That's probably the hardest. That's my least favorite problem, to be honest. We good on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Synthetic. This one's shorter, and it's synthetic, so it's a little easier. So what do we put in the box on number 10? Negative 2. We always do the opposite. And what are the coefficients? 3,
0.
0, negative 4.
Ah, I hate this class.
Hey.
That yesterday.
Will you remind us before the test starts to add zeros?
Are you serious
How
right now?
about you make a note to yourself?
I won't write them in your arm.
What question you asking about?
Write these examples on your arm. Or like, they're doing like videos where they're like, write it, it's on your volleyball.
Okay.
And then like push it at an angle.
Add down multiply up, multiply by the number in the box, add down,
A squared.
multiply up. Okay, and what did this stuff mean right here?
He's trying to agree x squared minus 6x plus 8 with a remainder of -9.
True that.
Yeah.
Hey, Fisher.
Yep.
Ow, dude, my
Can
arm
you
is
ever
so
imagine
sore,
yourself
bro.
in this place right now at this moment?
So the chair workout was insane.
Bro.
There's a good chance.
I don't know if it's a chair.
What made you choose
Right.
Wesley?
My arm got cut up pretty bad. I might be able to do it.
I don't
Oh,
know.
you need to
From the
Okay.
chair workout.
Yeah,
Bro, at least you guys didn't have to go up 2 flights of stairs, bro. That's like, we when we were
Oh, you had to
doing-
bring them up to
Yeah,
the top.
we were doing the balcony for the entire hour, bro. It sucked.
Sounds
Oh,
Big time.
that's happening.
Okay,
No.
number 11.
Why'd you do that?
List all possible rational roots. You guys remember how we did that?
Wasn't it like
6 over.
6
Factors of 6 over factors of 3, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Doors that I'll never kick again.
Oh,
Sorry, it's so
Wow.
Factors of 6. Factors of 3.
I don't like
You don't like this? I think this is the easy one.
I think it should be a 1 on the bottom. That's
Oh.
the easiest one.
Usually it is a 1, but not always. So, 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 3 over 1, 6 over 1 is 1, 2, 3, and 6. Remember, these can all be positive or negative.
Will you count off if you forget the plus or minus part?
I'll take a point off. 1 over 3, 2 over 3. 3 over 3 is just what? 1, so we already got that. 6 over 3 is 2, we already got that one. So that's
Is that the answer?
it. Yeah, we're not solving this. We're not solving this one, we're solving the
How do
next
you know
one.
when you need to solve it?
Solve.
There's 12 or less.
List possible roots.
Are you gonna say that?
Obviously, we were dealing with a very smart.
I don't know, something very close to that.
You can definitely read.
Yeah, I can.
Then why didn't you?
Yeah, it's obvious.
What is this?
Is this the last one or like just like 2 more questions?
There's a couple
Of
more.
course,
of those.
I'm sorry. Boom, 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 boom.
What was that?
Okay.
The last two are kinda, well, I think they're easy.
What does that even say? It says test prep.
What?
What?
It's not what that
Or
test
is,
is.
I mean, wait, kid, can you show me the right?
It's like so bad.
That is pretty bad.
You guys are trying to just read it at this point.
No, let me read, let me read.
That's what I'm saying.
Caveman drawings better. What's the top saying? What's the second word?
It says test prep.
I'm trying to read your letters, like your numbers.
Caden, it says,
Oh,
Like, some of them I can't read, like actually.
Caden, you need to switch switch hands.
Your fours look like Y's.
Stop. Very funny, guys.
Alright,
Switch
Most
hands
of the time,
is
guys.
They're funny guys.
so we're starting like number 11. What are the possible rational roots? And seeing which ones work. So factors of 4 over factors of 1. So yeah, this one's a little bit easier. Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 4. And how do we figure out what actually works? Plug it in. So if you plug in 1, yeah, that does equal 0. So what do we do after we figure out 1 is an answer? Okay, basically synthetic division. It's kind of like we're dividing 1 out, even though really we're dividing like x minus 1 out is what's happening, but same difference. So 1, 4, negative 1.
That is so bad.
Okay, add down, multiply up.
If you're suicidal, make sure you look at your cards.
Wait, you fix your wedding bread.
Wait, what did I do wrong?
I think it's 5.
Make sure you make it
instead
look
of
nice for
4
everyone,
on the second line.
You don't embarrass yourself in the grades.
I was multiplying.
Oh, that line, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I knew it was wrong because this needs to come out of 0. Should equal 0. Now, how do I find the final answers? Turn it into like x squared plus 5x plus 4. This one does factor. I'm not sure the one on the test does. I didn't look very closely. So if it doesn't factor, what do you have to do? Or if you're not good at factoring, quadratic formula. You might have to do quadratic formula, but for right now, what multiplies into 4, that adds up to 5.
Shannon.
4 and 1.
4 and 1. Multiplies into 4. And what values for x make it equal 0? Yeah, don't forget this guy's answer too.
Can you remind me to factor at the end of this?
It might be quadratic formula also, but no, I will not remind you. Yeah, right now.
Can I?
Can we?
On your arm?
Bring
What are you gonna write?
reference spring.
Remember
Like,
the factor and you're solving the root
And plus or minus.
How about just remember, you'll probably figure it out, that these have 3 answers.
I won't remember that.
No, don't write on yours. When I said write a note, I meant on your piece of paper, and then you can look at it before you take the test.
Looks like that. There we go. What is that? Page in there.
Alright, are we ready for the last 2?
Of course I am.
I literally seem prepared stupid.
I have as well.
Is that an A or is that like a
I mean, you should show Mr. Jordan's grade, right?
That's with my red.
I've seen a lot of Caden writing, I don't need.
Wait, let me see if I can write better.
Oh, I don't
I might not be able to.
I don't know how to do this. You should have kept that note.
No.
No,
To be honest, I can't even remember
so
what
weird.
How do you know
Wait,
if it's
yeah,
supposed to
you
go
rate the-
down?
you say this is
up,
better than
up,
kids
down,
now?
Yeah,
down,
no,
down,
negative.
See, that was way better.
Okay,
It makes sense.
let's go through it again. Alright. If the degree, shh, boys, if the degree is odd, what are the options?
Oh, down,
It's either up, down,
down,
or
down.
down, up. They alternate, they do the opposite.
Well, how do you know?
Okay, we'll come back to that. If the degree is even, what?
Up, down, down.
It's either up, up, or down, down. So they do not alternate. Like, for example, x squareds are parabolas, right? They go up, up. Usually, unless, how do you make them go down, down?
Negative 3.
Okay, if the leading coefficient is negative, that affects,
So now we down, down.
okay, yeah, it makes things go, yeah. If it's an even degree, that would be down, down. If it's an odd degree, that would be from up to down. Like this would be a negative slope, for example, right? Like a -1 slope goes up to down.
A negative degree or negative coefficient? What's a coefficient? Leading coefficient.
Okay, coefficients are the numbers on the front. The leading coefficient is the front of the front. The degree is the exponent.
If the degree is negative, it's.
No, if the degree is odd, it's up or down, down or up. And if the leading coefficient is negative, it goes in the negative direction. So up to down.
But would it be?
I should just ask my dad next time.
So if it's negative,
What are you doing?
You're so.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so here's the options. Shh, boys. If it's odd degree and negative coefficient on the front, it's up to down, going in a downward direction. Or like that or something. But it goes up to down. Positive, it goes down to up. If it's an even and positive, like x squared, it goes up, up. So I just think of like, if it's negative, this is a negative slope, right? Maybe you guys never processed
Are we
that.
going to draw them what they look like?
No. you look at the degree and the leading coefficient. That's why they ask you for the degree and the leading coefficient.
Oh, so, okay, okay.
If it's negative, it doesn't really matter that this is a 3. If it's negative, it's going in a negative direction, like up to down. Negative means down, right? Like going down the stairs. It just says state the degree, leading coefficient, and behavior. Okay, so I should have chosen different numbers so they didn't look the same. Let's put a 5 right there. That'll be less confusing if I do that. And I'll put a 4 right here. It doesn't really change the answers though. Not in a significant way. Okay, so what is the degree on number 13? 2. What's the leading coefficient?
5.
Positive 5. So what's it going to look like?
Up.
Yeah, it's a parabola, right, basically. If it was a 4th degree, though, it would still be up. It's just a W instead of parabola. But yeah, it's up. Okay, what's the degree of 14?
3.
Leading coefficient?
-4.
Okay, what's that going to look like?
Up, down.
Yes, it looks like this. So it is up, down.
I just wrote down.
Oh. I didn't do it right. I said, you're smart. You're like, what are you complaining about? You know that.
Okay, odd degrees, you know it has to be up, down, or down, up. Since the polynomial is negative, basically, it's going to go slide down. Yep.
Forrest, I have a question. Did you meet Ariana Grande on your way to Vegas?